In the last tutorial we showed you how to make calibration toolbox site technician workbooks, and now we're going to show you how you use these to perform actual pipette calibrations either in your own laboratory or any site in the world. So the first thing we're going to do is open the site technician software, which can be on a computer either in your own laboratory or at a customer site, it doesn't really matter. And there's the workbook that we created earlier, so we're opening that. And there are the jobs, the pipettes that you're going to calibrate today. And there are the places that you can enter the measurements, the water weights. And you can either enter these manually, or if you have a laboratory balance with an RS-23 interface, you can connect this into the computer and the software will interface to it. So there are your measurement points. And we're doing the high, medium, low as we've discussed previously. This is a multi-channel pipette, high, medium and low, 8 channels, which is why there are 24 channels in use. You've actually got 40 to use. So let's pick one of the pipettes that we're going to work on. And there it is. And now we're going to open the balance interface, and we can select from the COM ports that are available, make the communication settings to suit your own requirements, or choose the balance that you are working on. And then we can set the factory defaults, and then we'll open the interface. We also have to set whether the readings from the balance are in grams or milligrams. And once we've done that, we open the balance interface, and there it is working away. If I just apply live pressure to the balance, you'll see the orange box is changing to reflect the real-time weights. So just move that to one side. And there are the readings that we're going to take, high, medium and low. And depending on which one we selected on those tabs, that's where the data will be entered. We're also going to select whether it's the as found or as left value. So we start the runoff, and keep your eyes now on the little window with the balance and the traffic lights. You'll see that it's visually prompting you on what to do. So we've entered the first alicot, and it's accepted that reading. There's the balance readings coming in. If evaporation is going to be a problem, we suggest that you use a vapor trap, which you can purchase either from Callisto software or one of your laboratory suppliers companies. So there are the weights coming in. You're prompted to wait, to tare, and then to pipette the value. What have we here though? Well, just to explain, the software knows, site technician knows what roughly to expect in terms of the weight of water that you're expecting from the setting. Now you might have misset the pipette incorrectly, or made an incorrect deposit of water. The software is looking for this and will prompt you if it sees a reading out of tolerance, whether you want to abandon that reading altogether or accept it. So there we are. That is the low volume completed at the 5 readings. And if you notice the ambient conditions, temperature, pressure and humidity have been saved from the previous test. You can change them whenever you like. So there we are, we've clicked the calculate button. The warning that you saw about floating points is just site technician's way of saying that there are empty values that you need to fill in. But because at the moment these are the as left values, we don't really worry about that. So we'll start the medium reading now, and as you can see, once again being prompted, following the instructions from the traffic lights and the instructions below, and the readings are now going in. So there we are, pipette now, and there's the reading being taken. Again, just to reiterate, if site technician thinks that you've either misset the pipette or failed to deposit the correct amount of water, it'll give you a prompt just to say, do you accept this value or not? So really all you're doing at this moment in time is following the instructions on the screen. There are audible bells and whistles as well that will enable you to actually just listen for the prompts rather than look at the screen if you're working some distance away from the computer. So we're now doing the final run, which is the high value, and these are the as founds. So it's tearing the balance, measuring the sample that you've now deposited in. You are prompted to deposit the alicot, tearing again. So that's the second reading in, 3 more to go. So while we're doing this, the reason why people calibrate pipettes is twofold. One is it's just a routine check to make sure that the pipette is working correctly and is fit for use. The second sort is done or carried out less frequently, and that is where you actually calibrate the pipette and adjust it or repair it if need be, and then perform an as left calibration. And here we've got the as founds, and we're just going to click the calculate value again. So don't worry about the floating point warning. That is just to say that some of the column values are empty. It'll just complete the work regardless. So there we have it. And now the decision you have to make is, do you need to do any adjustment, or is that pipette fit for purpose? If you had repaired it or adjusted it, you could then repeat the calibration, but entering the as found data. So now what we're going to do is save this calibration, and we will then repeat this process for all of the pipettes on the job sheet. You can then take the workbook, which is an Access database, and use that to import back into the main toolbox database and generate calibration certificates, which is part of the next tutorial.